Nitto and Nitto Kagaku. In 1961, Nitto Kagaku started business, and in 1964 they started making plastic models with 6 kits, and by the end of the 1960s they had produced at least 49 kits in a wide variety of scales. By the end of the 1960s, their catalog included 9 jets, 7 propeller aircraft, 4 utility vehicles, 3 armored personnel carriers, 3 motorcycles, at least 2 anime, 2 tanks, an aircraft carrier, 1 animal, and 1 real space vehicle, the lunar module. This would be the only real space vehicle they would make. But given that it was the late 1960s and moon fever had grabbed the world with the space race, it was a reasonable choice. By the end of the 1970s, they had added 60 fiction characters, 38 aircraft, 11 infrastructure kits, 10 ships, 7 accessory sets, 6 guns, and even 2 trains. They even made a series of what are listed as 1/3 scale electric fans. Possibly started as promotional items, these were sold as regular kits. Their catalog was nothing if not eclectic. Their main scales were 1/28, which had over 115 kits, 1/24, which had over 75 kits, 1/76, which had over 50 kits, and 1/20, which had at least 48 kits. In 1973, they had their early releases of armor. This was the MM series, and the early MM series became somewhat famous, if not perhaps a bit infamous, for their well-known misprinted instructions. This was not to be the only criticism of Nitto. Many builders complained that the kits tended to be rough with a poor soft plastic. Now, having recently built a Nitto kit from the early 60s, I can certainly attest to some fitting issues, but in general, the kits seemed to be on par with kits of that time, and sometimes offered rare, if not a bit off scale, functionality, such as this Kate bomber with the folding wings and landing gear. On the upside, they made many kits that were simply not made by anyone else, and like most kit model companies, their quality improved over time. Nitto had several series of animation-based kits, including Microman, which was based on a science fiction toy line created by the Takara Company Limited in 1974, and Diaclone, which was a toy line that was spun off from the Microman toy line. They also did the Crusher Joe kit line, which was based on a series of science fiction novels. They did an anime fiction series called Gegege no Kitaro, and they did Tekkaman, the Space Knight, as well as a series of robots from the TV series Fang of the Sun Dugrum, amongst several others. There was also the popular Delta 3 kit, which was remarketed several times, as well as quite a few of the lesser-known kaiju, but they also had some rather well-known kaiju kits, such as Gamera and Baragon. But by 1985, the kit model market was changing, and Nitto ceased introducing new model kits. In 1988, their catalog included over 330 kits, over a third of which was science fiction. Some of it was mecha, and some of it was kaiju. Their kaiju were made mostly for the Japanese market, and perhaps for some really hardcore Western kaiju fans. They had 79 cars, 40 military vehicles, but only about 32 aircraft and 9 ships by this point, as well as about 40 animated characters, and they still made the lunar module. But in 1988, many of the 1/76 Nitto molds were sold to Fujimi. Nitto sold 26 of its sports car and Ferrari molds to a Chinese company called Blue Tank, and did a crossover marketing of 9 kits, 8 cars and an airliner with Scalecraft. Nitto did a limited attempt to remain in the business, and they introduced a line of Maschinenkrieger kits, the last of which was developed in 2003, but that is also the year they ceased operations. Its post-bankruptcy molds appear to have gone to a company called Wave, which still exists, so some of their kits might still be around, either as Fujimi or Wave kits. There is still a Nitto Kagaku in operation to this day, with a different logo, but it shows a start date of 1961, so it could be that Nitto simply rebranded and got out of the kit model business, but I haven't been able to ascertain that for certain. Well, that's about all I have for Nitto. Have you built a Nitto kit? What was your experience? I'm Max with Max's Models, and thanks for watching.
Goodbye to all my friends I've known and the travel agent I trusted. I'm riding along on this beat up old plane. Look out the window, all the rivets are rusted as that ground crew pushes us backwards on that rickety L1011. I'm feeling around for that flotation device, and when the safety film is shown, I'm paying close attention. Beat up old jetliner, hope you got a tune up today. Oh, beat up old jetliner, did they sneak you past the FAA? Bouncing round in a thundercloud, the landing gear won't come down. My seat back is up and my belt is on. I see the fire crew spraying foam on the ground, and if I get to my final destination, I know the next flight will surely be free. But I don't think I'll go back up into that piece of shit just to save a few pennies. Beat up old jetliner won't carry me too far today. Oh, give me a fresh airliner, I don't care what I've got to pay. Yeah, 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 yeah. Beat up old jetliner, don't carry me too far today. Oh, beat up old jetliner, 'cause it's home that I'd rather stay.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. I just turned off the no smoking sign. I figure, hell, if the plane's smoking, why shouldn't you?